Bethany Manctelo here. Welcome to our Millwall fan show with some new voices, but the same focus. Just everything Millwall. Enjoy!
Welcome to the 2023-24 series of Millwall No One Likes Us Talking's Our Millwall fan show. I'm your host, Myles Thornton, and with me I have the No One Likes Us Talking team of Dave Hart, Ted Robinson, Steve Morison.
Not everybody likes them, but they don't care.
The first defeat for Neil Harris since his return as the Lions succumbed to Leeds United in Sunday's Championship fixture at Elland Road by 2-0. Dave, a hiccup or a sign of things to come?
Every Millwall supporter knows that we're not going to win every game in the season. So to get to the point, 4 games unbeaten was great. Away at Leeds is always going to be a tough one. We played quite well in the second half, in my view, but it's one of those games that, you've got to do you do the best you can. And as all the results went our way that weekend, I'd definitely say it wasn't a hiccup. So I think it's a sign of what we've got to expect for the rest of the season.
Ed, just how important were the results on Saturday in our scrap against relegation? Obviously, ours didn't go the way we would have liked it to, but others did, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, no, look, as Dave pointed out there, on Saturday the results did go our way, and doesn't matter who you are when you're down there. I don't doubt for 1 minute that Stoke fans were looking at our result and Birmingham was looking at Stoke and our result. That's what goes on when you're down there in a relegation battle. Well, the only thing you can control is your own game and your own performance. Or you've got any control over. The problem with us was we was playing probably, in my opinion, and I said it when they was down at the Den, the best team in the Championship this season. That includes Leicester. I think Leeds have got a lot of strength in depth. You can see that with the 3 forwards that they brought on against us. But I thought we hung in there. We had a go. Dave's right. I thought second half we was a lot better than the first half, and we did just begin to start causing them a few problems. With a little bit more luck on the day, Michael Obafemi might have had a goal, Jake Cooper might have had a goal, and it might have shook them up a little bit. But the bottom line is, it was a free shot at Leeds because the results had gone our way, and as it goes for the rest of the season, then particular results are not going to be all and end all of it. And as Dave said, we're not going to win every game that comes along, but there were signs there that I think we're certainly good enough to stay up, and that's the most important thing. We certainly put up a very good performance in the second half, I thought, and we battled away in the first half. So disappointed because nobody likes to lose to Leeds, and I don't like saying the fact that they're the best team in the Championship, but unfortunately I think that is a fact.
Well, yeah, I don't like saying it either, Ted, but they're up there, that's for sure. Steve, watching our plan on Sunday, what do you believe needs to change when we face top half opposition like Leeds?
Well, I don't think it's about what needs to change. I think probably we just need to do more of the same, but just do it a bit better. I think, looking at our squad as it sits, I think we just need to sharpen up when we're defending, just keep it tight. We need to do better with the ball, not give it away so often. And I think, if our survival is going to be built on clean sheets and hitting teams on the break. And I think that's probably just our best shot at it. But I think we've got the players to do that.
We'll take a break there and hear about our sponsors, G&M Motors.
Hi, this is Jess Tuffield from G&M Motors. Operating from a modern and purpose-built facility in Milton Road, Gravesend, G&M Motors offers a complete range of new Honda cars and services. As well as new Hondas, we have an extensive range of used cars, including ex-Motability cars from a variety of manufacturers. Specialising in new Honda cars, G&M Motors has been retailing quality new and used vehicles to the people of Kent and South East London for over 4 decades. We have been a Honda dealership since 1972 and are the country's longest serving supplier of this renowned marque. Conveniently sited just 2 miles from the A2, 10 miles from the M25 and Dartford Crossing, visitors to our showroom are assured a warm welcome from our experienced and friendly staff. Our facilities include an on-site workshop capable of providing full vehicle servicing and repairs, as well as an extensive parts department offering genuine Honda parts and accessories. The expertise of our skilled mechanics is not limited to just Hondas, but extends to most makes and models of motor vehicles. Whatever your motoring needs, visit us at G&M Motors today. The newly extended hours of our G&M headquarters means that you can contact us from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. on weekdays and 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. on Saturdays. To contact us, call us today on 01474 365 026.
Thank you, Jess. Debbie Julian's here. Don't forget to call Jess on 01474 365 026. G&M Motors have been dear friends of the Julians family for over 4 decades now. From my dad Lenny to me, Debbie, Lions together.
I'm your host, Myles Thornton, and with me I have the non-licensed talking team of Dave Hart, Dave Morison and Steve Morison. Many thanks to our sponsor, G&M Motors. Why not go along, check the Hondas out and see what else they have on site at Gravesend. Our first guest of the evening it's actually a privilege to have him on the show. It's a former Lion who passed the ball on to Steve Morison to score and take us back to the Championship at Wembley. In my lifetime, the greatest game I've ever been to. He hails from the city of Still, Sheffield, and it was with Sheffield United and Totley Youth where he developed his talent. He then made a number of appearances with non-league clubs from Mansfield to Halifax Town, where he featured alongside Jamie Vardy. Season upon season saw his goal-scoring achievements improve, and Millwall came in amongst a number of other clubs to obtain his signature in June 2014 for a fee in the region of £250,000. For us, he made 238 appearances and scored 77 goals over 5 seasons before leaving at the Den to return back north. He subsequently went on to play for Stoke and for the 2021-22 season with blue side of the town Sheffield Wednesday. He became a fan's favourite for Woody Hours for his hard work and goal scoring that helped them back to the Championship. And he's the reason I fell in love with football. Welcome to the show, Lee Gregory.
Hello guys.
Hello Lee, you right?
Yeah, good, thanks. I wouldn't call it a pass. Hiya guys, I wouldn't call it a pass to Steve Morison. More of a little flick on, but I'll take it.
It's an assist, isn't it? It's an assist.
It is an assist, I will take it. But it wasn't a pass, but yeah, I'll take the assist.
Well, as I said, you're the reason I fell in love with football, so it's an absolute privilege to have you on the show.
That's nice.
And yeah, the first game I went to, you scored, and it was the first goal I saw as a fan, because I didn't actually like football till I was about 8 or 9. My school were giving away free tickets, and my mum went, "Come on, let's go." So I'm all right then. And then you scored, and I said, "All right, I'll go again." I haven't stopped.
Oh, that's good. So now, not looked back since.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to take you back to the 30th of September 2014. We lost 3-1 at home to Birmingham. Despite that, and the fact you scored less goals than Alan Dunn got yellow cards that season, it was the day you opened your Millwall goal scoring account. Can you remember much about that?
Yeah, I can a little bit actually. Obviously, when you go to a new club, you always want to try and get on the score sheet as quick as possible. So it obviously took me a bit longer than I anticipated. But yeah, I remember. I think it was Aidan O'Brien flicked it on a little bit, and the ball was bouncing. I think the goalkeeper was Randolph at the time for Birmingham. I got a picture in my house somewhere of it, and I remember it just bouncing. I managed to get it over his head, and it went in. But unfortunately, we lost the game, which is obviously a bit of a downside to it. But it was nice to get my first goal.
Hi Lee, it's Ted here.
Hey mate.
As much as Myles says you're the reason why you play football, you're the reason I nearly got divorced with that flick on to Steve Morison, because I was out celebrating for the rest of the evening and she wondered where the hell I was. But there you go, that's another story. But you must have wondered. Yeah,
you were celebrating for a good reason though, so I'll take it.
Oh, well, according to me, not according to her, but there you go. Never mind. You must have wondered where it was that you'd come to that season. We had a massive squad, not everyone up for the job in hand. Ian Holloway at the helm for a large proportion of that season. But how did you manage to settle in at Millwall? You must have had a lovely welcome, because we always welcome our players.
No, honestly, obviously I heard a lot before I come down, a lot of negative stuff. But honestly, from the first moment I got there, it was all right. Getting relegated for the first season wasn't ideal, but from the first moment I came in, like everyone kind of welcomed me with a warm heart, and it's that's why I loved the place. Absolutely loved it. And looking back, sometimes in me says, "Wish I never left," but you live by your mistakes sometimes. So I absolutely loved it.
Did you actually feel like you regretted leaving then, Lee, in hindsight?
Yeah, I do now looking back, because obviously I went to a club where I thought I was going to go a little bit further and maybe go the step up again, but it didn't actually happen for me. And when that happens, you do look back, but unfortunately you can't see the future when you're going to take them moves when they come. But that's just one of them things, unfortunately.
Hi Lee, it's Dave here.
How you, mate?
Lee, what the guys have all been saying, I personally, we shared a chat in the car park outside Scunthorpe after the playoff game, and it's
great
right, to talk to somebody like yourself, and it really made my day. But as well as the win, of course, we had Neil Harris back at the Den following a disastrous period under Joe Edwards. Neil gave up his job at Cambridge to honour a promise he made to the late John Berylson. That promise was to return if he was needed. He did so, and he's got us 10 points from 5 games. Our only loss was on Sunday against Leeds. Neil's been in this position before, and when appointed in that season that you joined us, he has got the credentials. Has he got the credentials to make our escape from the drop? And how would you sum up his managerial approach?
Sorry, do you want to say that last bit again? It just broke up then.
Sorry. Has he got the credentials to make our escape from the drop? And how would you sum up his managerial approach?
He's 100%. He's 100% going to keep you up. We all know how he works, and he knows Millwall in and out. And he's probably the best manager to get you out of this position right now, which you've seen in the last 5 games. Obviously, you had a bad run of games before that, and him coming in, he just gets the boys going, and he knows what's needed, especially in the Championship. He knows what's needed. He knows what to get out of his team. He knows how to get it, and I think the lads are obviously they're thriving under him at the minute. And it's good to see. Millwall's always the first team I look at, whether I'm playing, whatever I'm doing. I always click on the Sky Sports app and make sure that Millwall's doing well. Really, they're the first team I look at.
Yeah, it's the same for me. I always, 5 o'clock Saturday, I'll check and see if you've played a game and if you scored. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Thank you.
Hi Lee, Steve here.
Hey Steve.
Hi. I remember that home game against Derby County towards the end of the first season. They were pushing for a playoff spot and eventually missed out by a point. They were high scoring, but you scored a hat-trick. I thought we were going to grab all the points that day, but sadly we didn't. How does that loom large in your memory?
Yeah, it's one of 2 memories, to be honest. It's obviously it's one memory that I scored my first hat-trick. Loved it. The other memory was, I think it was that game really that stood out to me that kind of took us down a little bit, because it was towards the end of the season. I remember having a bit of a dispute with the Rotherham manager over social media and all this stuff, and then I think it was 3-1 up that game. I think, if I remember rightly, and I think after that we got the point. If we'd have got 3 points, we'd have probably stayed up that year. I know a game doesn't define your season. I know that, but I think that was one of them games where you look back and go, if we'd have just held on, maybe things would have been a bit different.
Well, I think sometimes it goes that way, doesn't it? Every game becomes a cup final, and if you get in the right habit, sometimes you just pull it off.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I think obviously the start of the season killed us really. Actually, no, we had a really good start to the season. I remember we were sitting in the playoffs at the first international break, and I think it all went downhill after that. But yeah, I think it was that's the international break to whenever Neil Harris took over. That killed our season, really.
Hi, Lee, it's Dave again.
Hey, Dave.
Your second season saw the return of Steve Morison to the Den. There was quite some anticipation of the fan base when he signed for us from Leeds. What was it like for you when this confident but charismatic character arrived to play up front as well?
Oh, what a guy. Steve Morison, what a guy. He's... Love playing up top with him. Love playing up this. As a striker, he's literally the kind of guy you want to play up top with. Sorry, my language. He did all the shy work. He did horrible. He did all the horrible work for you, and it just lay it on a plate for me all the time. So he's the kind of player you want to play with, and I love playing with him all the time. He was a Mardy fucker off the pitch, but yeah, he was he was a good guy.
Yeah, I'll bet him once or twice. I know what you mean, Lee.
Yeah.
Bless him.
Yeah, what a guy! What a guy! I think he's back in management now. I think
It's Sutton United.
Sutton, yeah, that was it. I thought I saw it. Yeah.
There were some great characters in that Millwall side, Lee. Where you played when you played with us. I mean, Dave's just mentioned Steve Morison, but we also had the likes of Sean Williams and this is the Irish contingent, and the wonderful David Ford, who certainly knew how to make sure everybody knew where his area was, I'm sure. But what were they like as individuals and team members?
Do you know what? This is a conversation that comes up a lot, especially with my friends and stuff. My friends ask me what's the best dressing room I've been in, and Millwall was by far the best dressing room I've ever been involved in. Some of the lads in there, some of the characters, just because at times we knew we wasn't the best team. We knew technically we were never going to be the best, but what we had to what other teams didn't have was just that character, that fight. Everyone loved each other, and some of the stuff that went on in the dressing room on a day-to-day around the training ground was just it's just hilarious. And you just spoke about David Ford then, and funnily enough, I was speaking about characters with my friends at the weekend, and he come up into conversation. I remember there was a time pre-season tour. It was in Portugal, and we started, I think it was me, Mark Beavers, Lee Martin, Sean Williams maybe. We started turning over people's rooms, and we went into David Ford's room, and we looked at his room. Everything was pristine. Everything had a place to be. Everything was in the right place. We just opened the door and just thought, it's not even worth it. Just closed the door, left him to be. Everyone else's room was just in bits apart from his, so we just left his room because we know if we pissed him off, then we're all fucked.
Yeah. Well, there was you just mentioned one, Mark Beavers, and the other one I was going to mention to you, Byron Webster, who was be sitting behind me at Leeds on Sunday, bless him, from up north of Watford, a bit like yourself. They seem to be a bit of a humorous pair together. What were they like most of the time?
Yeah, just funny, we were just constant laughter all the time. I know what Beeves, what a character Beeves was. I remember actually Neil Harris, he let another pre-season tour, he let us out on a night out, and Beeves basically gave us all a curfew, but then he said to us, the older lads, senior pros, you can stay out longer as long as the young lads come back. So I was like, right, young lads, get off, see you later. And I think it was going light when me and Beef started coming back, and we thought, well, we better not go through a reception just in case anyone's watching. So we decided to climb over the fence. I don't know why, because we didn't need to. Chopper was great with stuff like that, but we thought we'd had a few drinks, we'd jump over the fence, just make sure. I jumped over first turned behind Beeves, tried to jump over, and got his shorts stuck at the top of the fence. He's just hanging there. And I'm just crying. All his shorts just ripped. He's just hanging there saying, Gregors, try and get me down, please. Oh, God. Some memories.
And the last one I must mention, a player that most guessed from that era and before called a consummate professional. He's still playing in the National League at 38 and heading towards 750 league appearances. Tony Craig, captain for that game at Wembley when you assisted Morrow with his goal. How do you remember Tony?
Yeah, it's class. He was the one that basically kept everyone in check in the dressing room, messed him around and stuff. But when it needed to get serious, keeping his heads on straight and getting the results, basically. It was more for the games. He was he's one of them guys. He's a born leader, and everyone can see it, and everyone respected him as well.
Hi, Lee. Can I ask, how did the club change from the time when you first started there and then obviously just before you left? How do you think the club had developed over that time? Because we seem to have seen it just grow and grow and grow and get better year on year. What was your perspective from inside?
Do you know, from the first day I was there, though, it was like it never changed for me. Like, obviously, when you first talk about Millwall to anyone, it's like, oh, Millwall, blah 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 blah. But when you actually get there, it's such a family club. Like, even my wife, she says she misses it that much because obviously she goes to different clubs, and you don't realise how nice they make you feel. It's honestly, it's such a good club, such a family club, and everyone is so nice at the club. Everyone can't do enough for you, and that's the sort of stuff. Little things like that you just miss massively.
Lee, thank you very much for this. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show again. But before you leave us, it's a tradition on the show. Could you give us a prediction for West Bromwich Albion when they come to the Den on for Good Friday?
West Brom. Oh, Jed Wallace returning to the Den. Another great guy.
You get a lovely welcome. Don't worry, Lee.
Yeah, I also a nice welcome, then a nice see you later after. I think Millwall's going to win. I think 3-1 Millwall.
Whoa.
Yeah. I don't know. Especially now, Chopper back in. You're at home. You're doing well. Leeds are a great club. They're just flying at the minute. So I wouldn't take that. I know Millwall and Leeds, you always take that to heart, but I wouldn't take Leeds to heart. I think they're going places, and everyone can see that. But I just think Millwall, you're in confident. Chopper's going to get you going, and I think when you come to the Den and it's rocking like it probably will be. There's not many clubs that can go and take a win there. So I'm going 3-1. I'm going 3-1.
Lovely. Are you giving the one goal to Jed Wallace?
No, I don't. No, I don't want him to score. No, I don't want him to score.
Thanks for that, Lee. Thanks for that.
Lee, thanks for coming on, mate. We look forward to hearing
Not a
from you in
problem.
the future. There's so much more
Thanks for having me.
to explore. All the best, juniors.
Thank you. See you later, guys.
Bye-bye.
Good luck, Lee. Cheers, mate.
Bye-bye. Cheers.
Cheers,
Bye-bye.
Lee. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Nice bloke.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice bloke.
We'll take a break there and hear about the fans programme.
Hi, Bethany here. Want a matchday programme? You'll find them with sellers outside the ground by the gates at Zampa Road, Stockholm Road and Senegal Road. They cost £1 and the sellers ask if you can have the right money, as change will be difficult. If you want to get a message, photos of special events, memorials or just ones for good luck to be included, email smprogram@protonmail.com. That is smprogramme at protonmail.com. It's a great read.
I'm your host, Myles Thornton, and with me I have the Noel Access talking team of Dave Hart, Ted Robinson and Steve Warren. Still £1 or 5 for a fiver that programme? You can hear from the programme boss later. Let's hear from Ellis Barr now. Keep us updated, Ellis.
Hello, Ellis here, and I'm glad to be back talking about Millwall. I know many have watched my videos, so you will all know that I don't wear splints as much anymore. Thanks for your support along the way. It is now time to hear what all the Millwall teams are up to. Come on, Millwall!
Millwall Pride were in action last weekend in the London Unity League Plate when they faced top of the second division leaders London Freedom in an away fixture. Let's hear what manager Andy Dolan had to say.
So we had a great game. We won 4-2 in the Cup quarter-finals. That puts us through to the semi-finals. Really pleased, really good game. The team we were playing are actually top of our league and had been unbeaten in the league all season. But we had a specific plan. And it was a bit of a barnstormer of a game. It went back and forth a lot. I think we went 1-0 down, pulled it back to 1-1, 2-1 down, and then we ended up gradually pulling it back to a 4-2 win. Really good effort from the lads. There was a lot of back and forth. One of the lads at centre-back said it was like Michael Jackson's Earth Song video at the back, because, it's just constantly going up and down the pitch. Proper cup game. That was partially because of the way we set up as well, the tactics. We knew this team, they stack their midfield and they've got good strikers, but if you turn their defenders, they're really vulnerable. So we were going long balls, direct, bit old school, out on Hackney Marshes as well, turning that defence, and we leathered them, really. We made loads of chances in that game. We missed a penalty. We could have scored 10. Great result for the team.
Jeff Burnige filed a report for Maritime Radio following Millwall Lionesses friendly at home to National League London Seaward and Under-18s Women's Capital Cup tie on Sunday. Here's Jeff.
Website maritimeradio.co.uk, just click catch up to listen again. And yesterday Millwall Lionesses played a friendly match against higher league opposition London Seaward at St Paul's Sports Ground in Rotherhithe. Additionally, the under-18 Lionesses played in the semi-final of the Women's Capital Cup against South London Laces in Barnes. Jeff Burnige picks up the details behind both games.
Millwall Lionesses had no league game this weekend, so they entertained FA National League side London Seaward in a friendly at Rotherhithe and came out 2-1 winners. After last week's punishing defeat at Dartford, they were without Shannon Drew, Liv McGregor, Hope Welsh, Maisie Garwood, Poppy Payne and Chloe Fowler, all injured in last week's match. Co-manager Adam Rowland was in charge with Alex Russell at Leeds with the men's first team, and he brought in Jordan Butler, youngster Sky Kelly, Madison Grandis and Steph Patchy. Also, Maisie Joyce, Melissa Jones and Shay Bennett all started and performed well. The goals in this match were scored by Grace Seeley and Shana Giordani, and they now go to Ebbsfleet United's Cufflink Stadium this coming Sunday. Meanwhile, the Lionesses under-18 side were shocked 3-1 by South London Laces at Barn Elms in the semi-final of the Capital Women's Cup. Defending the trophy they won last season, they made two defensive mix-ups and had already conceded a goal direct from a corner kick to go 3-0 down. A goal from Jess Edwards heralded a possible comeback, but the young Lionesses were very disappointed to lose to this Greater London League side, who thoroughly deserved their place in the final. The under-18s will now have to concentrate on their remaining league games to finish as high as possible and possibly runners-up in their league.
Thanks very much, Jeff. So this morning we started to put two locations head-to-head.
Now then, panel, the only beaten at Leeds since Neil Harris's return. And next we take on high and flying West Bromwich Albion, who have fixed themselves in the playoff spots with 66 points, 3 wins and 2 draws in their last 5 games. Those draws come at Hull and QPR, and it's going to be a tough game. Lee Gregory earlier said a 3-1 win, very very ambitious. I would love it if it come true. We'll start with you, Dave. What do you reckon?
Well, West Brom are always going to be a hard team to beat, or one of the hard teams to beat. They play nice football most of the time. They play attacking football there. They come at you fast. and our defence has really got to be right on the money on Good Fridays. And I think even with Jed, I think that we've got it in our pocket to pull out the 2-1 win.
Fantastic, Ted.
I'm quietly confident with this one. West Brom are in the playoffs, but I think they're there by the nature of the fact that they're difficult to beat more than they're an exceptional side, if you know what I mean. I don't see West Brom having been playing the sort of football that Leeds, Leicester and even Ipswich have been playing. So I think they're more than beatable. I'm trying to think who they played at the weekend, but it wasn't that impressive, but they did get a 2-0 win. I think our performance against Leeds second half was more than good enough to beat West Brom. If they can play like that at home, get a little bit more about them from the word go. We seem to be a bit tentative against Leeds in the first half, but I think if we come out like we played in the second half against Leeds, against West Brom, we'll turn them over. But there's not going to be much in it. I think it might even finish up being a 1-0 win to us. I'd love to see Taganga again in the 90th minute, 1-0. But if not Taganga, it's about time Jake Cooper scored a goal. So I'm going to go Jake Cooper, 90th minute, 1-0, just like Birmingham, but against West Brom.
Well, that is just like typical Neil Harris and typical Millwall, innit? Steve, what about you?
Well, I think, Ted, you stole my thunder because I was going to say pretty much the same thing. I think if we keep it tight, and I think we can, we've got the international break now to work on it, and most of our defence is going to be there. And I think it will be a tight game between two teams. And I agree. I think Jake's going to jump up. He's going to score his first goal. It's going to be the only goal of the game, and we're all going to go home happy.
Fantastic. Well, if it's anything like Birmingham, I'll be very happy myself. And as I said, if we do play like we did against Birmingham, I can see us coming out winners. I'm going to go 2-1. 2-1. And I'm going to go Michael Obafemi. And hopefully he gets a goal on the international break as well. Set him up for West Brom. Michael Obafemi and Jake Cooper. Go on, I'll go with you two. Just for your information before we head into our second guest of the show, here are our international players' details. During this international break, Matisha Sarkic wasn't in the squad against Belarus on Thursday evening. They kicked off at 6 p.m. and they beat Belarus 2-0 away from home. They also face North Macedonia on Monday the 25th of March for a 5 p.m. kickoff. Hopefully he'll be in the squad for that one. Norton Cuffy will play away to Azerbaijan for England under-21s on Friday the 22nd of March, kick-off 12 midday. England under-21s against Luxembourg then on the 26th of March, kick-off 7 p.m. George Saville will play away to Romania on the 22nd of March for a 7:45 kick-off, and again against Scotland on the 26th of March for another 7:45 kick-off. And Michael Obafemi will play at home to Belgium on Saturday the 23rd of March, where you my 18th. And then the Republic of Ireland will also face Switzerland at home on the 26th of March for a 7:45 kick-off. Before we head to a break, let's hear another tale from Phil Coleman's boot room.
Hello again, Phil Coleman here. Here's a few more tales from my boot room. So many young players want to be professional footballers, but back in the summer of 1977 when I started my apprenticeship at Millwall, the whole package for £16 a week would frighten off today's youngsters. A typical day or week would start at 8 a.m. at the Den, straight into those jobs. They included getting all the pros' kit out of the laundry and putting them in the hole, getting them out the hole, which was where the boilers were, as a giant drying room between Jack Blackman's kit room and the changing rooms. We had to put it all out for each pro exactly where they got changed. Shirt, shorts, socks, slip or a jockstrap. Well, I'm not sure if too many listeners know what a jockstrap is these days. They had clean boots, studs and their rubber boots, a tracksuit and a towel. They got it washed and dried every day. Their boots were cleaned and dried and polished every day. In fact, I remember one young apprentice, Tony Dark. Tony played in every round of the FA Youth Cup win that we had in 79, but he missed out in the final through injury. But Tony got a raving ump with cleaning the boots one day. He completely lost the plot, polishing not only the boot in his hand, but he went up his arm, all over his body, up his neck, all over his face, saying, "This job does my nutting." Once he'd stopped, he was covered in boot polish from head to foot. It was funny as heck. Other jobs included putting the divots back on the pitch and forking the pitch. Often about 12 of us dressed up looking like trawlermen in our bright yellow oilskins on the pitch, forking it for hours after training. We also had to clean the toilets, wash the floors in the change rooms, sweep the tunnel, clear the terraces, and get in the giant baths and clean all the scum off the tiles after about 20 pros had finished. That summer of 77, we had to weed the whole terraces. Ilderton Road end, Halfway Line end, Coldblow Lane end. We made little piles of weeds and burnt them all. We also had to paint the crash barriers that year. I think it was bright yellow. One funny story. One of us had to climb up the police box every Monday morning and clear it out after the game. Before one training session, I can't remember which one of the lads it was, but one of them hid in this police box. And as training got underway on the pitch below, kept shouting out, "Stop! Go!" Whole squad were all over the place, not knowing where the instructions were coming from. Another funny time. We also had to be on duty on home match days and take the giant teapots into the change rooms at half time. Sometimes you heard some choice words from the visiting managers and coaches. And again, at the end of the game, we had to clear all the kit up, wash the change rooms out, clear the baths, and leave the whole place tidy, ready for the next day. The day-to-day jobs were done before training and after training, wherever that was. Could have been at Langley Park, anywhere we trained, Senegal Fields, Deptford Park. And we rarely finished before 5 p.m. Although us local lads did cover for some of the lads like Ian Gale, who had to come in from Reading every day. He used to slip off early and we covered his jobs. Alongside those jobs, we trained at least once a day, sometimes twice a day. And we did our weight training on the giant weight system that they had installed in the middle of the corridor between the change rooms and the tunnel. Never had anywhere else to put it. I can't imagine what youth team players would think of what we had to do back then. It wasn't just training, weights. We played in the South East Counties League on a Saturday morning, the Youth League. We played our reserve games on a Wednesday in the Midweek League, but we also did those jobs as well every single day. I remember Thursdays became a day to look forward to, as under Jules Petchy, who often played the reserves and youth team against the first team to help the first team prepare for the game on the Saturday. I remember we got into the habit, we tried to nail them, and to quote one lad, take their effing shirt. It often got heated, but we never took a backward step. We made it tough for them, including the likes of Kitch, Tony Hazel, Dave Donaldson, Phil Walker, John Seasman, Brian Chambers, John Moore. Later on, we would go on to play alongside many of them in the first team. Well, most of us signed pro, and they ended up with our own apprentices looking after our kit and boots. That upbringing certainly made you appreciate being a pro. I always made sure my apprentice got a nice little Christmas present. Next week, I'll be talking about the legendary coach, Oscar Arthey. Look forward to that. So many laughs with Oscar. Bye for now.
The responsibilities of an apprentice footballer, Phil. Wow, not like that now. We look forward to the next week's instalment. We'll take a break there and hear from a good mate of mine, Harvey Brown, talking about the Lions Food Hub.
Hi, Harvey Brown here. I am proud of the Lions Food Hub, which is jointly owned by Kelly and Ellen Webster, and they have been supporting families within our community for over 2 years on Millwall match days. If you would like to donate to them, they have a match day donation hub by the SE16 bar at Coldblow Lane, end of the ground, where they accept any food or money and toiletry donations. If you can help, any donations will be received with thanks.
I'm your host, Myles Thornton, and with me I have the Millwall Lionesses talking team of Dave Hart, Ted Morison and Steve Warren. You can drop items off at the Millwall Community Trust on weekdays and watch out for what they specifically want on social media. Our second guest this evening hails from South London. He has followed the Lions for many, many years. He is famed for his involvement in the Millwall history, the museum, the driver behind the fans programme, and since 2007, the Dockers Day events. I'm going to say no more than a welcome to the one and only Chris Bethel.
Good evening.
Evening, Chris.
Evening, Chris.
Chris, before I hand you over to the panel, you've been a familiar face at the Den for many, many years. How did you come to follow the Lions, and was it an option or was it your destiny when it all began?
Well, it was my next door neighbour, believe it or not. He used me as an excuse to his wife to get me out of the house and take me to Millwall, take me to New Cross Speedway, take me to the dog racing, take me to stock car racing. I was literally out every night. New Cross was an haven for anything to get out. So, it took me about 1960-61 and my first game. And, Joe Broadfoot.
Hello, Chris. It's Dave here.
Hello, Dave.
With yes, mate. I was our paths have crossed on loads of times on the coaches and doing man of the match stuff. But over the past 30 years, our home has been where it is today. What's your most memorable home game at the Den, the new Den, what we call the Den now?
Well, the new Den, I think it would be the Leicester game in the FA Cup, because the previous year, how well they done, and to beat them in the FA Cup would probably be the best game I've ever. Huddersfield as well in the playoffs was a great game as well, so it's hard. But I think Leicester just tops that because of who Leicester were. Huddersfield, we'd already played them that season. So, I'm going to go with the Leicester one. Great win.
Yeah, two great games there, Chris.
Yeah.
Hello, Chris. It's Ted here.
Hello, Ted. You all right?
You're all right, Chris. Yeah. I echo that, what Dave said. Fantastic games, without a doubt. But now be careful, Chris. I don't want you to offend any of the listening past and current players here, as you know them all so well. Who's your favourite player from the past, and who's the favourite one in the current team?
Right, it's got to be Keith Weller. I think there's so many people will back me on that one.
On one, Chris.
Everything. He could take throw-ons, free kicks, score goals. You knew he was going to go on to play for England. It's a shame. Obviously, we couldn't have kept him. He was a stepping stone after we signed him to Spurs, but you knew he had a future. What a great player, Keith Weller.
Yeah, we've got something in common there, Chris. He's my favourite, without a doubt.
Oh, yeah. Anyone who's lucky enough to see him, they'd have to be old like that.
Yeah. I know, mate. I was thinking as you were saying that, it's making us feel old, but there you go, mate. You're right. But he was worth every minute that you watched of him, Keith Weller. Fantastic player.
Yeah. And
what about in the current team, mate? Anyone's?
I like Dinor. I can't see how he's not starting. I like Dinor. He should be in midfield, spreading the ball. He'll play it forward. He'll play it down the channels. Yeah, I can't understand why Dinor ain't in the lineup straight away. He's my favourite player at the moment. Dinor, yeah.
Yeah, he made a difference on Sunday when he come on.
Yeah, well, he does it all the time, don't he? The minute he comes on, you look at the crowd cheering. You only got to hear the crowd. They all know.
They do.
Hi, Chris. It's Steve here.
Hello, Steve. All right.
Hi, mate. Great to talk with you. Can you let us know what to expect on Dockers Day for the 1971-72 squad?
Right. Well, I've got my list. Now, whether they turn up or not is another thing, but they usually do. I'll start off with Alan Dorney.
Oh, yeah.
And then we've got Mickey Kelly, who's in the Isle of Wight. He's we're just going to get him out of Parkhurst and then he'll come over. Pat Lally, he's now with the PFA. He's been there for years. He's coming from Huddersfield. He's travelling up on train that morning, and he's got to be early because it's early kick-off. Pat Lally. George Duck, now a reserve player, but I like the reserve players and the youth players because they play 100 reserve games. Played in the London Challenge Cup. I like to get a few of them in on my Dockers Day. Georgie Jacks, Stevie Brown, the great Brian King, Billy Neal, Nicky Johns, Dougie Alder, Alan Walker. Now, there's a reason I've got Alan Walker. I'll come back to that. Dennis Burnett and George Borg. Now, I've got Tommy Sampson coming. So Alan Walker's coming because you know he's with the Kent FA. But a little unique one for you. He's just taken Ashford Town. But he's still going to come to Dockers Day, although Ashford are playing and he's the new manager. But he's still come to Dockers Day because he pushes Tommy Sampson in the wheelchair. Tommy Sampson, another one who played like 100 reserve games, 6 years with the youth, got in the first team. Then he went and played in the Kent League, 500 games, become manager of Maidstone, Dill, Erith, got Dill to the Wembley in the FA Trophy. And it's 25 years, Dockers Day, that he'd done that and they won it. He celebrated with his brother, opened the fridge to have a game of golf and had a stroke, and he's been in a wheelchair ever since.
Yeah.
So his book's coming out that day as well. We're going to have some books. We're going to get them signed by all the players, and that's why most of these players are coming, because of Tommy Sampson, to see him. They haven't seen him since. But so it'll be a great day for him. It'll be a great day for me, and it'll be a great day for the players because they're all talking, about him because he keeps in touch with them. So that's Dockers Day. So it's a special one, this Dockers Day. It's very special.
Oh, brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant, Chris. Well done.
And you're going to make me want to do a prediction, aren't you?
We are. Absolutely.
You know what's coming, Chris. First of all, though, I hear you're starring on the Mill History Tour this Saturday in the Isle of Dogs, alongside our Stan.
I've got a list, yeah. I want to see what they do. I've been over there a million times with Dave Sullivan and Ted, and been to the museum. Brian Grover. I used to go to all the Dockers Day. He ran the museum, and he took us over there, and we had tours. Terry Brisley and his dad. So I just want to see this. I've never been on this tour. I want to see what they say. Go through the history over there, and then I've written a list of the players, what they got up to, the players that played on the docks. There's a lot of things people don't know what players got done when they was on the dock. So I'm going to have a little speech, and I'm going to go about 5 players. Things like the players that went on tour with Charlie Chaplin when they were kids, before they were famous, and things like that. The Millwall player that went over to America, played golf, and done the Ryder Cup, made the Ryder Cup. They didn't know it was a Millwall player that had the Ryder Cup, and things like that. William the Silent. So you have to go on a tour so you can hear about William the Silent. Right, I'll leave it there.
Chris, I also hear that you're going to star on a Netflix show. What can you tell us about that?
Right. Well, we've had in November. They come over and they was interested in the Americans being involved with Millwall. Then the Americans was involved with Wrexham, so they concentrated on him and not me. But now they come back. Now James is taken over at Millwall and doesn't have many interviews. They're interested in James, but they're also interested in the history. So they want to have a chat with me. They want to eventually have a chat with James. They just want to go through the history about the Isle of Dogs. I arranged for them to go on a ground tour. They went on a ground tour with Dave Sullivan. They come back, said, yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. So I had a chat with them on Sunday, and we're looking at a date, probably September, to start filming and doing a documentary on Millwall history involved with Americans, because obviously they're American. Anything American, they want to film it or document it. So yeah, so hopefully that's going to happen and make me rich.
Chris, you probably know what's coming. Before you go, can you give us a prediction for Good Friday? against West Brom?
Yeah, I knew you were going to ask me. Do you know what? I'm going to go for 2-0. Yeah, I think we're going to win 2-0. I think we're going to be up for it. Yeah, we lost against Leeds, but I think we're going to be up. Because at home now, the crowd's a bit livelier. Yeah, I fancy 2-0. I don't know who's going to score the goals. Probably come from midfield or even the fullbacks. But, yeah, I think...
We're Keith Weller.
Okay, Keith Weller. Yeah, better dig him up, yeah. Yeah, well, perhaps, I don't know. I think 2-0. I'm going to go with 2-0.
Sounds good. Chris, we have a message from a friend who joined you on Dockers Day for its very first event back in 2007. Just gonna play that for you now.
Hi, Chris. Back in 2007, you invited me to Dockers Day. You greeted me and invited me onto the pitch to represent my dad, Lenny the Lion, Len Julians. I was rather surprised, went on and became overcome. I felt such pride. I actually got to experience how my dad must have felt, the roar and the atmosphere. I was astonished. Huge men with huge hands shaking mine and patting me on the back. Fans were telling me the stories of how Lenny kicked the ball so hard in the back of the net it burst the ball. They mentioned that my dad was their idol and that he could fly through the air. It brought my dad alive again. It must be the same for all the players. Some players don't realise how much they are loved and remembered and how much they are still celebrated. Chris has every Millwall fact in his head. He not only gives us Dockers Day, but also the Millwall Museum and produces the fans programme with dedicated Millwall volunteers. The wonderful book, 59 Games on the Spin by Chris Bethel, is a treasured book for me. Millwall is built on history, generations from the past to the present and for the future. Thank you for keeping those memories alive for now and future generations.
Isn't that lovely, Chris?
Oh, that's emotional. Yeah. How much I will give her again?
Why do you do Netflix? Chris?
I'll get her on Netflix, that's it, yeah. Get her on Debbie does Netflix. Yeah, it shows you how old we're getting.
Yeah.
Chris, thank you very much for joining us, mate.
No problem, lovely. Yeah, it's lovely. Lovely to hear you every year.
Best of luck for Dockers Day as well. Hope it all goes well for you.
All the best, Chris. Cheers.
Lovely. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, good. Cheers, Chris.
Cheers, Chris.
We'll
take a break there and listen to Bethany Manctolo talking about how you can support and sponsor the Millwall Community Trust.
The Millwall Community Trust is something that I, Bethany Manctolo, admire for all that it does. The Trust was established in 1985, works to provide sporting, education, social and healthy lifestyle opportunities to the local community in Southwark, Lewisham, North Kent and the wider community. Its work is targeted at people of all ages, irrespective of race, gender or sexual orientation, and runs programmes aimed at tackling social exclusion, racism, knife crime, lack of employment opportunities for young people, mental health and disability issues. The Trust aims to be a progressive and campaigning charity that makes a difference to ordinary people's lives. Its work is undeniably essential to the local community. They have sponsorship opportunities to support this work. Email commercial@millwallcommunity.org.uk. I'll say that again. That is email commercial@millwallcommunity.org.uk. Please help if you can.
I'm your host, Myles Thornton, and with me I have the No One Likes This Talking team of Dave Hart, Ted Robinson and Steve Warren. If you can donate, it will help our Millwall Community Trust to deliver all their programmes across all age groups to people within our community. We're all looking forward to the next game, but in the meantime, here are a few matters of interest for Millwall fans and also those interested in football.
Millwall Football Club is pleased to offer supporters the same Super Saver period prices as last year for the launch of the 2024-25 season tickets. Be quick though, as the price freeze is only valid until Wednesday the 3rd of April, after which the prices will increase. Stan and Eamon renewed theirs last week.
Well done, those boys. And next week, the show will be hosted by Bethany Mantello. She will host Dave, Stan, and possibly Jeff on the panel with a couple of guests too. Additionally, Millwall Lionesses are away to Ebbsfleet United Women at Ebbsfleet United FC, Stonebridge Road, Northfleet, Gravesend next Sunday. Kick-off is at 2 p.m. Why not get along and roar our Lionesses on?
Our Millwall Community Trust is thrilled to announce their Easter holiday camps across Lewisham and Southwark. Join them for 2 weeks of fun activities at 3 convenient locations. Week 1 at the Lewisham camp at the Lion Centre, Ballina Road, SE16 3LD. Tuesday, April 5th to Friday, April the 8th, for 5 to 13-year-olds. £40 for the week, £12 for the day, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. daily. Week 2 at the Lewisham camp at the Lion Centre, Ballina Road, SE16. Monday, April the 8th to Thursday, April the 11th, for 5 to 13-year-olds. Price £40 for the week, £12 per day, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. daily. The Southwark camp at Bethin Adventure Playground, SE5. Tuesday, April 9th to Friday, April 12th, for 6 to 13-year-olds, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. daily. Price: the camp is free and each child will receive a free hot meal every day. Southwark camp at the Bradfield Club, 5 to 13 Commercial Way, SE15. Tuesday, April 9th to Friday, April 12th, for 6 to 13-year-olds, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. daily. Again, the camp is free for each child will receive a free hot meal every day. Our Millwall Community Trust is doing what they do so well. Be quick and go to their website to register.
Well, I'm getting through that one, Steve. Don't forget you'll be able to listen to the Noel Lights talking team, bring reports from our games, both home and away, for both the Lions, Lionesses, Romans and Pride, and also updates on Millwall Community Matters too on Maritime Radio, broadcasting on 96.5 FM. Additionally, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook and X, formerly Twitter, all social media sites and all popular podcast sites. That's it from me. Thanks, Dave.
Good night for me, and renew your season ticket.
Thanks, Ted.
Thanks, Dave. I will. Cheers. Cheers, Myles.
And thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Myles. And yeah, I'll be renewing mine as well.
So will I. It was a reminder to me to do it. Thank you all for listening. Finally, let's not forget to keep you safe on the streets out there. Good night.
Our Millwall Fan Show is sponsored by G&M Motors of Gravesend, Honda dealers and much more. Thank you.